Good evening and welcome to Ignite News on 6 at 6. It's Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. I'm Rana Nikram. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Improved connectivity is turning Guyana into a central player in hemispheric commerce. President of the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry says the 2025 Business Development Forum will equip Ghana's small and medium enterprises with tools, mentorship, and opportunities to grow and innovate. NAMILCO invests $10 billion in expansion to boost flour production, create jobs, and strengthen Guyana's food security. And after losing 2 vessels in a single week, a Berbice fisherman appeals to the government for support to protect livelihoods and rebuild his fleet. Regional connectivity is fast becoming a major driver of investment in Guyana, positioning the country as a gateway between South America and the Caribbean. Chief Investment Officer Dr. Peter Ramsarup told participants at the International Business Conference 2025 that Ghana's investment story must be viewed through a regional lens, one that links emerging markets and trade corridors across the hemisphere.
We're building the deep port right now, starting. The feasibility is being completed. The road to Brazil is on its way. That's 18 million people in northern Brazil, right there alone, that we have access to. Come through Guyana, about 1 million. And the president said by 2030, we will have about 3 million people passing through Guyana. So you've got to look at this growth stock, look at the trajectory of where it's going. You pass now Guyana. This is about Suriname also. The relationship with Suriname is beautiful. Suriname, then you get to Suriname. You've got another market emerging as a growth stock with their find of oil and gas.
He explained that while Ghana may seem like a small market, its location and expanding economy open doors to more than 400 million consumers across Latin America and the Caribbean.
Then you go to French Guyana. And then you get to the wider Caribbean. That's another 18 million people, minus Haiti. And then you look at our trade agreements to Latin America. It's a 400 million market of people you're getting to. So it's not when you look at, should I invest in Guyana? Why should I invest in Guyana? It's about what our accessibility to the wider world.
A follow-up panel titled How to Start and Scale a Business in Ghana offered practical advice to investors. Private Sector Commission Executive Director Natram Ramnarayan said the Commission acts as a navigational co-pilot, guiding investors through regulations, incentives, and connections with key stakeholders. He noted that collaboration between the private sector, government, and regional partners continues to make Ghana one of the region's most investor-friendly destinations. Ghana's banking system is currently being modernized in an effort to build global competitiveness. This is according to Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Anil Nandlal. Speaking on a recent episode of the Starting Point podcast, Nandlal said stakeholders such as the banking and private sectors are being engaged prior to the legislative process.
We have a policy as a government that we don't proceed to legislate without consulting, in particular, the important stakeholders relevant to that legislation. So if we are going to enact something about the banking sector, or in which the banking sector is going to be a main stakeholder, we engage the banking sector, we engage the private sector, we engage the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce, we engage other important stakeholders.
Nandlal said following recent engagements, it was observed that there was a disconnect, hence the need for more consultations.
So that if there is misunderstanding or a lack of clarity on any of the provisions of the statutes, whatever they are, we have to discuss them. And that was what was really lacking. There was a particular piece of legislation that we had to bring something into operation. And we agreed after discussion that it would be up and running Tuesday. So one meeting clarified what was described as a huge number of issues.
The Attorney General explained that while several changes have already been made, Ghana is still operating under outdated legislation. The rules are no longer match today's financial realities. The Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry is gearing up for its 2025 Business Development Forum, a major event aimed at supporting small and medium enterprises, encouraging collaboration and driving innovation across Guyana's private sector. The two-day forum, set for November 13th and 14th at the Pegasus Corporate Center, will bring together business leaders, policymakers, and international players. GCCI President Cathy Smith will ignite insights The event will be held under the theme, Empowering Businesses for a Resilient Future.
We are hoping that they can focus nationally because sometimes small businesses can be focusing only in the areas that they're operating. But we want them to start to think about the entire Guyana, the 10 administrative region. How can I move myself from region 3 to region 4 and so on? We want them to even start to think regionally because there's a lot of policy that is being put in place intentionally by our government. The private sector is pushing for certain new areas to ensure that there's a working relationship between Guyana and the various Caribbean countries, and we want the small businesses to benefit. And of course, globally, because we have seen in recent years, the major investors happens to be from North America, European market. So we want our small businesses to start thinking, you know what, yes, I've started this in this level, I am this in terms of revenue, but the opportunity that our country is facing, and that is why we choose the topic, empowering businesses for a resilient future. And that was quite easy for us to come up with because Guyana unprecedented growth has helped us to come up with that topic.
Smith explained that the forum will not only highlight government and private sector support programs, but also focus on real-world business tools, including mentorship sessions, workshops, and financing discussions aimed at helping small businesses grow sustainably.
Because of where the country is growing, there's an opportunity for us to focus on macro issues. So those issues, those that are affecting policy changes, that are affecting, the national development of our country and where our businesses are being impacted. So we've been working heavily with the government of the day, because being 135 years, we have seen a lot of government. We have always been working with their agency, all of their agency, to ensure that whatever concern, whatever issue, whatever is needed for growth and development of our businesses, they can hear. So what GCCI was successful in doing, we have 14 committees. These committees, we kind of mirror the work of what some of the government ministries and the agencies have been doing so that we can align it comfortably with what is needed from the members of GCCI.
First held in 2018, the GCCI Business Development Forum is a space for collaboration, capacity building, and partnerships. Registration for the forum costs $10,000, and the Chamber says it remains committed to making the event accessible for entrepreneurs across Guyana. Georgian's historic 135-year-old Gothic-style City Hall is finally nearing completion after a long and careful restoration. Once finished, the building will serve as both a working municipal hub and a symbol of the city's architectural heritage. The $780 million project, awarded in 2021 to Trinidad-based Fides Limited, was originally expected to take 18 months, but progress slowed several times, leading the local government ministry to grant an 8-month extension in August of 2023. Today, most of the work, including painting and lighting, is done, with only minor finishing touches left. To hear more about how the restoration progressed, we spoke with Mayor Alfred Mentor.
Well, the City Hall building, as you see, is almost finished or possibly to hand over to us anytime soon. That project itself started with some feasibility study done by the European Union, who donated the funds for the study itself. I think the previous administration on the APNU, AFC, would have moved under the Granger administration to seek to get funding from the Monuments and Gardens grant.
Following the 2016 EU feasibility study, the Mayor and City Council launched a Restoration Trust Fund in 2020. While exact contributions to the fund are unclear, most of the current rehabilitation appears to have been funded by the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development. When asked about the handover timeline, Mayor Mentor said some details are still being finalized.
Well, I don't know any date was ever set on it just yet. I don't know if you have any other information, but as the mayor of the city, that hasn't been communicated to me, because remember, the building itself was handed over to the contractor. The contractor now has to hand over back the building to the government, who spend the money, and it's then for us to set a date.
Once handed over, City Hall will stand not just as a functional hub for Georgetown, but as a restored piece of the city's history, ready to serve generations to come. When we return to NAMILCO's $10 billion expansion, Ghana's first nano-fertilizer launch, a new core homes for vulnerable families.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95, tune up. Fuel it up and drive, super 95, tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Gov't Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Gov't's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Welcome back. NAMILCO makes a major investment to expand flour production and strengthen food security. The National Milling Company of Guyana, or NAMILCO, is investing around $10 billion to expand its flour milling operations and strengthen Guyana's food security. The investment will fund a modern processing mill, expanded wheat storage, and an upgraded wharf to serve both local and export markets. Seaboard CEO Jack Bresky said the project reflects the company's commitment to agro-industrial growth and supports President Ali's vision for regional food security. The expansion will boost production capacity, create jobs, and bring in advanced technologies and training to develop local expertise. NAMILCO is also partnering with the government to commercialize cassava flour, promoting innovation and self-sufficiency. Additional investments in pork production and LNG distribution are being explored as part of Seaboard's broader strategy. Construction begins in early 2026 with completion expected in 2027, demonstrating the company's confidence in Ghana's economic potential. Ghana has officially entered a new era in agriculture with the launch of its first locally introduced nano-fertilizer. The launch took place today at the Ghana Rice Development Board in Burma, Maikoni, and was attended by key stakeholders, including Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa. The initiative is a collaboration between the Ministry of Agriculture, GRDB, the Energy and Resources Institute, and Zuri Farm Hub Limited, showcasing cutting-edge technology designed to increase productivity, reduce input costs, and promote sustainable farming practices.
This launch reflects our government's strong belief that farmers, like what we did before, must benefit first from innovation. This is why I'm encouraging our farmers across Guyana to embrace this nano fertilizer to reduce your input costs, increase yield, and improve also. When you increase yield, Dr. Mahendra will agree with me that we improve also the soil health. Right? We get better soil over time. So I am anticipating widespread adaptation of this high efficiency fertilizer. This will significantly help our national rice yield and acreage targets, ensuring that we maintain our competitive edge in the regional and international market.
Nanofertilizers use nanotechnology to deliver nutrients more efficiently, releasing them slowly and in a controlled way to reduce waste and minimize environmental impact.
Today, we are living with the effects of climate change. Now, this fertilizer significantly reduces emissions and carbon footprints because of the amount of nitrogen that is placed into the environment. And because it's applied foliar, that is sprayed onto the crop, the efficiency is highest. Nanotechnology basically accounts for about 75 to 80% use efficiency as compared to when you're using the conventional urea fertilizer.
Dr. Gancham Payman, GRDB agronomist, highlighted environmental benefits, especially amid climate change challenges. The initiative supports the government's goals of food security, climate-resilient agriculture, and empowering farmers. Outreach and training programs will help farmers adopt the new technology, with significant benefits expected in the upcoming planting seasons. 28 families from Regions 3 and 4 are beginning a new chapter after receiving core homes under the Adequate Housing and Urban Accessibility Program, funded by the Inter-American Development Bank. Housing Minister Colin Crowell, Minister Vanessa Ben, and IDB Country Representative Lorena Sorzano Salazar were among the officials handing over the keys. The initiative supports vulnerable households with safe, affordable homes. Each 400 square foot unit includes 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, and washroom facilities. Beneficiaries contribute $100,000 towards construction, a small investment, the government says, for long-term security. To date, 176 homes have been delivered, with a target of around 300 families. Recipients expressed gratitude, describing major improvements in their living conditions. Cindy Suku said her new home replaces a collapsing structure, while others celebrated new independence and stability. Mr. Kroll reaffirmed that housing is a fundamental right, pledging continued efforts to enhance citizens' quality of life. Devendra Prasad, a 55-year-old seasoned fisherman from Curtin Berbice, is appealing to the government for help after two of his vessels sank in rough seas within a single week last month. Speaking with Ignite News, Prasad explained that the losses have left workers unemployed and placed several families' livelihoods on the line.
The water was rough, and my guys them had to get rescued. The waves started to splash into the boat, and they couldn't control the amount of water that was in the boat. Well, when my boat sank, the first thing they run for is to try to get the phone, and they make a call and just tell me like their location. And I work with that, and I got to rescue them fast. That's the second boat that sank. The first one, there was a next boat close by, and they got rescued from that. The second one, they just make a phone call and say, well, they are a certain area, and I had to take a speedboat and go there and use the GPS to their location, and I rescued them in like about 4 or 5 hours after.
After spending years between Ghana and the U.S., Prasad returned permanently in 2017 to expand his business. He explained that each boat carries a 4-man crew, and each trip can earn $200,000 to $300,000. Losing two boats so quickly has cost them millions in revenue.
They are out of a job right now, and I'm trying to put things back in place. To equip one of those boats to go work there, it costs like 12 million for one. But I will put it to a value because they are not brand new. Like value one of them like for 8 million. Because those boats are like about a year and a half old only. Basically,
Prasad is appealing for government support not just for himself, but for the families of his displaced workers, while he continues working to rebuild his fleet. When we come back, a special tribute match unites police officers from Ghana and New York in honor of a fallen hero. Plus, the battle of spin heats up in Dhaka as the West Indies face Bangladesh, and Zimbabwe celebrates its first home test victory in 12 years.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
You're watching Night News on 6 at 6. Thanks for staying with us. Last weekend, a special tribute match between the Guyana Police Force and the NYPD honored fallen detective Randolph Holder. It was cricket for a cause on Sunday as officers from the Guyana Police Force and the New York Police Department faced off in a friendly T20 match at Eve Leary Sports Club ground. The game was held in tribute to fallen Guyanese-born NYPD detective Randolph Holder, whose legacy continues to inspire both forces. Batting first, the Guyana Police Force put on a commanding display, 229 for 5 in 20 overs, with Troy Benz stealing the spotlight. He smashed a brilliant century off just 53 balls, earning the man of the match title. For the NYPD, Kelvin Leitch top scored with 47 runs as his team reached 156 for 9. Leitch also took a wicket alongside Kyle Michael and T. Chadhuri. President Dr. Irfan Ali made an appearance on the field, grabbing 2 wickets for 25 runs and helping secure a run out. After the match, the president praised the partnership between the Guyana Police Force and the NYPD, one that has strengthened over the past decade in service, friendship, and respect. All eyes are on the spinners as Bangladesh and the West Indies get set for deciding one-day international tomorrow in Dhaka. The second match ended in dramatic fashion, a super over finish, after both sides posted 213 in a contest dominated by spin bowling. The West Indies adjusted better to the slope surface, bowling exclusively with spin. Part-time off-spinner Alec Atenez started with 2 for 14 from 10 overs, while Akin Hussain, Roston Chase, and Kerry Pierre kept things tight. With the bat, however, the visitors will want stronger conversions after several players, including Captain Shea Hope, got starts but failed to push on. Openers Athenace and Brandon King, along with Casey Carty and Sherfin Rutherford, will be crucial to setting a solid total. Bangladesh, meanwhile, must cut down on dot balls after a worrying 62% rate in the last match. Their top orders, Sumari Sarkar, Saif Hassan, and Najmul Hussain Shanto, will be under pressure to put up bigger scores and build partnerships. With the series locked at 1-1, whoever masters the spin battle is likely to walk away with the trophy. Zimbabwe have secured their first home test victory in more than a decade, defeating Afghanistan by an innings and 73 runs, their biggest ever win in test cricket. The match wrapped up in under 3 hours on day 3, led by a brilliant performance from Richard Garara, who cleared his first 5-wicket haul in test. Zimbabwe showed clear intent from the start, with Tanaka Shivanga striking early to remove Ramanola Garbaz. Garava then stored through the top order, dismissing Ibrahim Zadran and Hashmatullah Shahidi in quick succession. Afghanistan showed brief resistance through Bahir Shah and Afsar Zazai, but wickets continued to tumble, and by lunch they were struggling at 127 for 6. After the break, wicketkeeper Tavadswa Sisiga took a spectacular one-handed catch to hand Garava his 5th. From there, Blessing Muzarbani cleared up the tail with a pinpoint accuracy. A dominant all-round display and a memorable moment for Zimbabwean cricket supporters at home. Still ahead, a major shutdown in Trinidad threatens hundreds of jobs. U.S. conducts anti-drug strike in the Pacific, and the World Court rules on Israel's obligations in Gaza. Welcome back. In Trinidad, fertilizer producer Nutrien shuts down operations amid a major port fee dispute. The Canadian company has started a controlled shutdown of its Trinidadian nitrogen operations at Point Lisas. The shutdown follows a disagreement with the National Entry Corporation, which claims Nutrien owns millions in retroactive port fees. Nutrien has denied the claims, calling the fees unjustified, and says restrictions on port access have left it no choice but to halt production, a move that puts around 600 jobs at risk. Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal confirmed the standoff remains unresolved, but said talks with the company are ongoing. According to the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, the dispute stems from the previous administration's failure to renew key port contracts for more than 4 years, an issue now inherited by the current government. Nutrien also cited persistent gas supply challenges that have hurt profitability as negotiations to regularize contracts continue in the coming days. In international news, U.S. military appears to have expanded its counter-drug campaign, carried out a strike late yesterday against a suspected drug vessel in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of South America. Reuters reported the strike marked the first known operation in the Pacific under the Trump administration's renewed offensive against drug trafficking. This effort has already led to at least 7 deadly strikes in the Caribbean, escalating tensions with Venezuela and Colombia. The Pentagon has not commented on the latest operation, which reportedly targeted a vessel carrying several suspected smugglers. The move comes amid a major U.S. military buildup in the region, involving warships, fighter jets, and thousands of troops. But legal experts are questioning why the military, rather than the Coast Guard, is leading the strikes, and why other efforts to halt the shipments are not made before resorting to deadly strikes. Finally this evening, United Nations top court has ruled that Israel must ensure the basic needs of civilians in Gaza are met. In an advisory opinion released today, the International Court of Justice said Israel, as an occupying power, is obligated to provide essentials like food, water, shelter, fuel, and medical services, and to support UN relief efforts. Presiding Judge Yuji Isawawa emphasized that starvation could not be used as a weapon of war, noting that Gaza remains severely undersupplied.
The court considers that Israel is under an obligation to agree to and facilitate relief schemes provided by the United Nations and its entities, including UNRWA. In its final section on international humanitarian law, the court explains that custom international law prohibits the use of starvation of the civilian population as a method of warfare.
The opinion requested by the UN General Assembly is not legally binding, but carries significant political weight. Israel rejected the findings, saying it already upholds international law, and accused the United Nations relief and work agencies for Palestinian refugees in the Near East of ties to Hamas. The court, however, found Israel had not substantiated those claims. The agency, which employs over 30,000 people, continues to operate under strain as the Gaza humanitarian crisis deepens. And that's all for this edition of Ignite News on 6 at 6. For more stories, visit ignitenews.com or follow us on social media. Thanks for watching. I'm Rihanna Nikram. See you tomorrow for more Ignite News.